Absolute Darkseid just infiltrated the main DC universe, and the new form that he's taken is the most powerful form that the heroes have ever seen of him.
Peak fiction incoming.
Now, I know Absolute Darkseid is just Darkseid from the main universe, but I'm still gonna call him Absolute Darkseid because one, it sounds cool, and technically he is the first Absolute character ever, since he's literally the embodiment of the universe. And you guys know what they say, Darkseid is Absolute. He is the end-all be-all. But today we're gonna be covering DC's brand new series, DCKO, which is basically a giant Dragon Ball-like tournament between all of the DC superheroes where they're basically fighting against each other to collect Omega energy, so one of them can become as powerful as Absolute Darkseid in hopes of saving their universe. And initially we pick up outside of an arena with Superman preparing for an upcoming battle by stretching out his body before literally wrapping both of his fists with knuckles containing miniature suns inside and then making his way through some nearby doors because it was time to enter the arena. But immediately upon stepping inside, he was overcome by fear and caught by surprise, but unfortunately we don't get an explanation as to why until later in the issue. Our story then goes a few days back into the past with Bruce, Clark, and Diana exchanging some friendly banter while playing a superhero-themed board game. And even though Clark wasn't having the best time because he only liked games where everybody could win, they couldn't deny that they were enjoying each other's company because outside of saving the world, they never really got to spend that much time with each other. Nevertheless, upon another hour passing by, all three members of the Trinity were a few spaces away from reaching the finish line and winning the game. But right before Diana could throw the dice on the table and possibly make the game-winning move, she was interrupted by Lois, asking them why it got so bright outside all of a sudden because the light definitely wasn't coming from the sun. And upon further inspection, they realized that they were dealing with one of the most powerful threats in the entire universe because none other than Absolute Darkseid, who was literally taller than every skyscraper in Metropolis, was in the midst of using his Omega beams to wreak havoc on the entire city. But he wasn't just wreaking havoc by simply destroying things because, as stated by the narrator, every little atom that Darkseid and his Omega beams came in contact with were actually becoming a part of him and making him even stronger. And as the Trinity began closing in on his location, they couldn't help but feel like this version of Darkseid was different from any version they had ever faced in the past, and unfortunately they couldn't have been more correct because somehow, some way, he was everywhere at once, terrorizing the Bat family in Gotham City, terrorizing the Amazons in the Themyscira, and also terrorizing other heroes all across the planet at the exact same time. And soon enough, what seemed like a nightmare that couldn't get any worse quickly turned into one of the most horrifying moments that Superman ever experienced, because immediately upon Batman getting close enough to start firing shots at Darkseid effortlessly stopped him in his tracks by annihilating the Batwing with one of his Omega beams, which ended up killing him instantaneously. And if that wasn't